Mi gente, I've got the perfect freebie for you. So I just dropped a 17-page workbook to help you get your mind right, especially in this climate of so much uncertainty. So if you are an aspiring or current entrepreneur and you're just feeling stuck, you're not feeling too good about what the future holds, and all the turmoil, the politics, all of it is just throwing you off your game, this workbook is actually going to act as a journal for you. It covers goal setting, efficiency tips, how to manage your time, financial management tips, strategies on how to wrap your head around the next big thing that's coming down the pipeline to bring you consistent revenue in your business. It covers what you should be doubling down on in terms of your well-being. And it is just my favorite jam-packed journal full of marketing and sales strategy to help you get clarity, but most importantly, to help you secure the big bag. So make sure to tap on the link in the show notes. I've linked it there so that you guys can get really clear on the top hacks that you can put into play to set yourself up for success. I hope you love it.
It's time to pivot. It's really easy to feel like you're not doing enough. Really easy to feel like you're not enough. But when does it go too far, y'all? Where we are becoming so comfortable with being alone. What does that really do to our mental health? One of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship is that you get to decide, how do I want to show up right now in this moment? What do I want my legacy to be? I had to make the executive decision to not host my annual summit this year. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Banking and Cultura. I'm your host, Victoria Jenn Rodriguez. You like the R. You like the way that R, where that R is rolling. I'm here with a solo episode in New York City in the studio. I haven't done a solo episode in a while, nor have I done a life update episode in quite some time. And it is that time, darling. It is that time to give you a life update, to kind of fill you in on what's the latest and greatest. You might have noticed that we missed maybe 1 or 2 weeks of dropping episodes because there's a lot going on behind the scenes. And sometimes it be like that, y'all. Sometimes you got to give yourself grace, and that's definitely something I'm learning in this phase, which I think we all need to really do a better job of, especially right now with all the shenanigans that are going on. It's really easy to feel like you're not doing enough. Really easy to feel like you're not enough. Really easy to hop on the comparison train and look at what everybody's posting as their highlight reels or whatever your mind tends to go towards when there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. And it might feel like a familiar place because we went through the same predicament during COVID, right? During COVID, we thought a lot about reinvention. We thought a lot about, okay, well, what's next? We thought a lot about, well, who do I want to be? What impact do I want to have? At least I did. But I believe I'm not alone in that. And I find that we're kind of like in that same space again, where there's just so much negativity and social unrest that just continues to go up, and it kind of has intensified. I feel like during COVID, it was more of like unity. We were like, we're in this together. We're in the house together. You know what I mean? And we're like in this fight together. Whereas now it's more of a you versus me. You don't get me, so therefore I'm cutting you off. I feel like it's becoming easier and easier for people to just like turn the cheek and operate in kind of this silo space. And it's been interesting as people are masking it as like protecting their peace and protecting their energy, which I think there's a time and a place for that. But when does it go too far, y'all? Like, when does it go too far where we are creating too much distance, where we are pushing away too many people, where we are becoming so comfortable with being alone? What does that really do to our mental health? And what does that really do to humans, right? We yearn off a community. That's how we thrive. I don't know if you guys have seen the documentaries on Netflix where they show people who live to like 100 and beyond all over the world. And the number one trend that comes up as to why people are living this long, happily living that long, healthy, is because they're in community, right? Followed by moving their body. But the first is community. And so it's a little nerve-wracking to kind of see the direction of where we are moving toward, where people are constantly prioritizing solitude. And again, I don't think solitude is necessarily a bad thing. I think it becomes bad or has the inverse impact that we're looking for when it becomes our norm, when it becomes the thing that we aspire to do more often than not. And I believe we're there. And so it's a little scary because we have this social component of humanity that is going through a lot of transformation, a lot of turmoil. There's so much propaganda out there. And then we have this other side of ourselves that are super ambitious, that have goals, that have dreams, still want to achieve those things, but trying to balance the social component, right? And I, like you, have been kind of in the midst of trying to figure out, okay, well, how do I operate in this space? And how do I want to show up right now in this moment? What do I want my legacy to be? So there's been a lot of that self-reflection happening on my end and a lot of conversations that I'm having with myself around, it's time to pivot. I think that's like another hot word again on the scene. It was a hot word during COVID, and now here we are again. My soul feels like there is a major shift coming outside of what people are telling you is coming from AI and all that other shit. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a major shift happening with who I am as a person. And whenever that's happening, I pay attention. It happened when I decided I no longer wanted to work in corporate 15 years ago and decided that I wanted to become a full-time entrepreneur. I felt it then. I was like, hold on, a shift is coming. God is showing me these signs. Let me pay attention to what is happening, right? It happened again when I wanted to launch this podcast, Banking Cultura. I went to Costa Rica, went on a spiritual retreat because I felt like a shift was happening and I needed to identify what the hell it was. And Banking Cultura was born and a shift in my brand came about. And now I feel like we're here again. So don't be surprised if your girl takes a flight across the globe pretty soon to go on another spiritual escapade. And the beautiful thing about growth is you never stop, right? You never stop growing. You never stop evolving. And you shouldn't want to, because then are you really living, right? Are you really living if you're not growing? So I think it's a positive thing, right? It's a positive thing that I feel like this shift is coming. But it's also a scary thing because I know I'm about to, again, enter unknown territory, right? And it's scary because I know it's going to require me to step up. It's going to require me to do things differently. It's going to require me to have more discipline and more focus and get really clear on what it is that I want now, right? Because what I wanted 2 years ago is different from what I want now. And I'm learning that about myself, that, I get bored really easily. I don't know about you guys, but I do. I get bored really easily, and I need things to keep momentum going. I need to keep things vibrant. I need to keep things fun. I need to keep things colorful, because once it starts getting vanilla or it becomes too repetitive to the point where there's like no surprises and there's like no cool stuff going on, and it's just kind of like the same old, even if what I'm doing is cool in itself, but if it's the same thing over and over and over again, I get really bored really fast. And so we are at that moment. We are at that moment where I'm like, okay, I'm getting bored. I'm getting bored. I want to rock the boat a little bit. Something is calling me to do things a little bit differently. So I am being called, right? I'm being called to the task. And I want to walk you through what some of those changes are looking like and some of the steps that I've taken so far, because I like to give you the inside scoop. I like to give you the behind the scenes. And I want you to be brave and courageous to do your own self-reflection and think about, what do I really want? Like, is this really making me happy? And if it's not, then you need to shift. And that's where I am, right? I'm like, I'm not really happy. I'm not really feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm not really feeling it. So let's go create my happy. And so I want to share a couple of things that I'm doing to pick up on that happy. So first things first is, for those of you who are following me on the social medias, if you're not, at I am Victoria Jenn, okay, make sure you're following me across all the socials. It was about maybe like a month and a half ago. It was a Friday night, and I was calling up my girlfriends because I just wanted to like go out, have a little drink, a mocktail really, because I haven't drank in like a year, y'all. And I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to kind of feel the energy. I just wanted to be outside. And the majority of my girlfriends are either mama bears, hubbied up, booed up, live in a different state, or are just so incredibly busy that they just can't come outside. And I was like, damn, all I really want to do is like Kiki. Like, that's all I want to do. I want to Kiki. And I did what any millennial would do. I went to social media and I told the people about it. I said, yo, I want Kiki, and there's nobody to Kiki with. Like, who can relate to this? Like, where are the kidless folks? Like, where are the folks who could go outside? Because my folks cannot go outside. And hundreds of women responded to that reel saying they feel exactly the same way, right? They're finding it very hard to make new friends as an adult. They are bored. They're tired of staying home. They want to go outside. Some moms were commenting like, oh, I'm about to be an empty nester. Like, I need a new crew. And so it was really validating, honestly, because I was like, okay, cool. Like, I'm not alone. I'm not like the only one who is feeling like this. And so I was like, maybe I should do something about this. And I started asking, I was like, maybe we should have like a social club or something. Maybe we should do something. And then somebody commented and was like, you should, and you should call it a Kiki Soirée. And I was like, ooh, I like the tone of that. Like, yeah, let's do a Kiki Soirée. So then I started thinking about, what do I want to do, right? Because one thing I know that I do really well and that I truly enjoy is hosting. I love to host. In fact, when I was in college, I was a promoter, okay? And I love being a promoter for the clubs because I would host people, I would curate an experience. I remember one year was, I think I was turning 26. I think that was the year that I turned 26. Or maybe it was 20, no, it was before 26. Maybe it was 23, maybe. And I hosted a party where I brought all these people out for my birthday, and I had these men who were walking around who had little bow ties, who had no shirts on, and I would write things on their bodies with red lipstick saying like Victoria's birthday. And they were basically catering to all of my guests. And it was so much fun. But this is how far back it goes that I love to host. I just love to host. And so keeping that in mind, right? Thinking about returning my happy and creating something where I want to bring people together, because that's also something else that I enjoy. I said, let me host a Kiki Soirée. So I started polling my audience and asking them, hey, what do you want? You want to go on a hike? You want to go have brunch? Like, you want to go on a trip? Like, you want to go to a spa? Do you want dinner? Like, what do you want? And the majority of folks said they wanted dinner and they wanted to move their body. So I decided to create a Kiki Soirée where we are going to have a New York Times bestselling author and celebrity chef curate a meal for us. And then afterwards, we're going to go dance some salsa to burn some calories. Keep it super intimate, no more than 20 ladies. Yes, this is just for the ladies. And we're just going to kiki and we're going to have a good time and we're going to keep it classy, but we're going to keep it cute, you know, sassy, classy, cute. You know what I mean? Maybe some twerking, you know, but have fun, right? And like take off the mask and just like stop, you know, there's so much weight on our shoulders right now. Like, it's just an opportunity to take it off. You don't have to plan anything. I planned everything. Just show up. And so I'm actually hosting my first one upcoming this Saturday. And I'm really excited about it. And this Saturday, depending on when this episode drops, this Saturday is going to be July 19th. So I'm hosting it this Saturday. It's our first one. And then depending on how it goes, I might make it a quarterly or monthly thing. I don't know, but it was something that I felt called to do. It was something that my community said they wanted and were looking to be a part of. So I was like, you know what? Let's create it and let's do it. That's an example of something new, right? Something new that I'm trying out in my business model, because if this becomes a thing and people are really into it and vibing with it, then I'm going to continue to do it. And my thought process behind it is, not only did I need it, not only is my community telling me that they want it, but also I find that people right now are willing to spend money on experiences, right? They're willing to spend money on things that help them escape, even if it's for a night, a couple of hours. Like, they're looking for a breath of fresh air, you know? They're looking to just let their hair down. They're looking to just chill and vibe and just kind of revitalize them, right? Especially if you're like operating in the same kind of ordinary routine every day. You're watching the news, you're consuming all these, you know, negative headlines and everything. You're just looking to just like, you know what I mean? To like woosah a little bit, but you also want to keep it cute. You want to dress up. You want to look nice, right? Because you know that comes with like a certain energy. I don't know about you guys, but when I dress up and I put the makeups on and I put the outfit on and I take my pictures and stuff like that, like it kind of like lifts me up, right? It shifts my mindset a little bit. Even in the moment, it might feel like, oh, I don't want to do this. I'm kind of tired. But once I do it and I'm out there, it's like, oh, okay, this was like totally worth it. And I find that we're yearning for those type of experiences. And the data is telling me the same thing. That's why Beyonce is selling out. That's why Bad Bunny is selling out. I mean, obviously, they're also icons and incredible performers, but they're concerts, right? People are still paying for travel, right? They're paying OD flight prices, which are ridiculous at this point. You know, they're trying to re-up from all the money they lost during COVID. It's crazy. But people are paying to travel. They're paying to escape. So I'm paying attention to what is going on in the marketplace and also paying attention to me, right? Paying attention to what is going to make me happy. One of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship, which is why I believe every woman should be thinking about starting a business if they haven't already, is that you get to decide, right? You get to decide if you want to create something new. You get to decide if you want to rock the boat. You get to decide if you no longer want to offer a program. You get to decide if you want to take off. You get to decide who you want to work with. The point is that you have the freedom to decide. You don't have to ask anyone for permission, right? You don't have to get approval from anyone. You get to decide. And I think when entrepreneurs are in the mix of things, or they've been doing it for a while, or especially coming from corporate, you're used to the routine. You're used to, working within a scope. You're used to following the rules. So when an opportunity comes for you to break all the rules and for you to color outside the lines, it's kind of like, wait, hold up. I don't know. Is this appropriate? Is this right? Is this smart? Right? And then we begin to justify all the reasons why we shouldn't do something, instead of tapping into the fact that something is calling you to do something different, right? We suppress that, right? Because it's not the norm. It's not what we're comfortable with, And it's scary. I get it. Listen, offering this Kiki Soirée, I don't know, I didn't know who was going to come. I didn't know if people were going to be receptive to it. I don't know what the future looks like for this thing. I don't know if me posting about it on LinkedIn is going to make people think like, yo, is she a promoter of parties now? Is she a social host? But who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? I'm living this life. I'm the architect of my life. I have to show up in this body every day. I have to look at myself in the mirror every day. So I want to make sure I'm actually enjoying this shit, right? Like, it's hard. Being an entrepreneur is hard. So I have to make sure that I am creating or participating in experiences that make me feel like it's worth it and also show me that it is worth it, because it makes me money, or it makes me a better friend because I'm just happier, or it helps me and motivates me to take my ass to the damn gym because I'm like, oh wait, hold on a second, I'm about to do a photo shoot because I'm about to do this branding, I'm about to reinvent myself, like I gotta, you know what I mean? So we gotta pay attention to those signs. So that is a first step that I'm taking in possibly remodeling my business model, right? And introducing a new pillar, okay? And something else that I did, I had to make the executive decision to not host my annual summit this year. In November of every year, I usually host the Secure the Big Bag and Wellness Summit. Last year was our 7th year, so this would have been our 8th one. And I made the executive decision to not host it this year. And the reason why I decided to do that is because, I paid attention to what was happening to a lot of other big events. I don't know if you guys saw the news that was circulating around Essence Fest. Essence Fest is a huge festival that happens in New Orleans every year. And this year, there was a dramatic decrease in ticket sales. And a lot of other big events are also struggling with getting people to show up. Conferences, brands that host events every single year for several years are canceling or postponing their events because nobody's buying tickets. Right? People are holding on to their money. People are thinking twice about how they're spending their money. And I also took into consideration what the climate is for my corporate clients, my sponsors who have already committed to sponsor the summit can't even send their team to the summit because organizations are not allowing their employees to travel. And conferences or anything that is considered cute that actually is going to invest in their employee morale, which is still incredibly important, and help their employees feel like, wow, my company is still gung-ho with me, etc., are choosing not to make those investments because they're holding on to their purses too, because you just don't know what's coming down the pipeline. And so everybody is preparing for the worst. Everyone is preparing for their rainy day. Everyone is keeping their thresholds as full as possible because we don't know. what's going to happen. And so in having conversations with my sponsors, with potential sponsors, it was becoming more and more difficult. And I had to really sit down and map out like, okay, V, if you choose to move forward with this summit, are you working harder instead of smarter? Like, why are you doing it? Are you doing it just because you do it every year and so you feel like you need to do it every year? Why do you need to do it every year? Who's telling you need to do it every year? You don't have a boss. Right? I don't have a boss that's telling me I need to do this. I'm the boss. I'm the one. So why? Why do I need to host this event? What is the purpose? What is the outcome that I'm trying to achieve here? And as I analyzed it, there was just more on the side of, hey, it makes more sense to cancel this bad boy this year. And you can pick it up next year, right? Next year, there's still opportunity to host it again, right? And so I made the executive decision that I was going to cancel it. And I'm going to focus on smaller, more intimate, but still high impact events, which brands are actually interested in right now. Brands are interested in investing things with a lower price point that still is achieving a goal, right? And I look at things like the Kiki Soirée as an opportunity for brands, right? So right now I'm building the business case, right? I'm building the business case as to why the Kiki Soirée makes sense. I'm building the business case as to why women want to be a part of this, right? And can it actually be successful? I have a photographer and videographer coming this Saturday to record what's happening. We're going to create content around it, right? Building momentum, because who knows? I might start pitching the Kiki Soirée or something similar to that concept to brands going forward.
What's up, mi gente? Bet you didn't know that Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. You know what's a little less accepted? Taking financial advice from random usernames and avatars you found on some forum. That's just sketchy. No offense to all the finance bros out there on the internet. Based on the February 2024 Nielsen report. Learn more at discover.com/credit card.
In replacement of the summit and some larger events that I have going on or used to have going on. Right? And this is what we have to pay attention to as business owners. We have to pay attention to what's going on in the marketplace. What do consumers want? What are they showing you? What is the data telling you? Right? And matching that up with what actually makes you happy. Now, some people will argue me down on this point, right? They'll argue me down where they will say, it don't matter what you want. It matters what the market is telling you, what the gap is. That's where you're going to be the most successful. And I believe there's merit there and definitely truth there. I agree. But again, the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is you get to decide. You get to decide if you want to work on something that actually brings you joy and makes you happy and also makes you money, or if you want to build something that is only going to make you money, right? You get to decide. You get to choose. You're happy. And maybe that makes you happy. Like you don't care about this aligning with your morals, your values, your soul. You don't care if it's helping society. You don't care about those things. You just care about making money. And that's okay too, right? That's the beautiful thing about being diverse is we are different and we do value different things. And that is okay. But for me, and thinking about the life that I want to live and how I want to show up in the world and what I believe is my purpose, I'm not just doing it for the money. I'm doing it for my happy too. I'm doing it for the impact on my community. I'm doing it because if I walked away from corporate where I had a beautiful 6-figure salary. I had my benefits, traveling, staying at 5-star hotels, not 4, okay, honey? And living la vida, okay? Living la vida. If I was going to leave that, I need to make sure that it's worth it. And for me, it's worth it if I am happy, helping my community, and also making money. That means, okay, it was worth it, right? It may not be $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. Now they want to make $1 billion popular, right? It may not be that, and that's okay too. That's okay too. I don't need $5 billion. I don't even want $5 billion because I know the responsibility that is attached to $5 billion. I know the responsibility that is attached to me choosing to scale at a level where I'm bringing in $1 million a month. I know what is required. I'm around people who do that, peers of mine. And I have conversations with them. And guess what? They stressed. They stressed as hell, y'all. They are stressed as hell. Okay? Yes, they're flying private. Yes, they have these homes. Yes, they're driving their dream cars. Yes, they retired their mama. Yes, they retired their significant other. Yes, they got all these kids and they got trust funds and all of this and all of that and all these things. But when you sit down with them and you get to the core, right? You kind of peel back the onion and you get to the core, the majority of them tell me that they are not happy, right? They're not happy. And so when I hear that, and I also know the work that is required of them, okay? They're up at 5, they finish at 11 p.m. That's their days. The majority of their days, with a full-time staff, with a house manager, with all these things, that's their days. And yes, they'll take 3 weeks off to go stay at a 5-star hotel in Dubai. Yeah, they do that. They do that. Very foo-foo shishi. They'll travel first class and have unlimited caviar to their international, destination. I remember when I was coming back from Bali, I was traveling on Emirates and I had upgraded to business class when I was coming back. And there's a secret entrance, a private entrance for business class and first class. And I remember asking the gentleman who's walking with me, because I knew he was going to first class. I was like, what's the difference? Like, what's the difference between first class and business class? And the main difference, outside of like having a private cabin that you can close off, is you get unlimited caviar in first class versus business class. And I was like, is that worth the additional $7,000? Not really. Not really to me. However, it sounds lovely and I would indulge. I would indulge. But bringing it back home to my point is, they have all these things and they've achieved all these things. They have the awards. They're speaking on big stages and they're doing all the things, but they're not happy. It's very rare that you find someone who actually is happy and also working that hard. Okay? So, bottom line is you get to decide. So a couple of things are changing with me, y'all. I got the Kiki Soirée coming up. I'm not hosting the summit this year, and I feel really good about that. I really, really do. I don't feel guilty about it at all. I don't give a fuck what people think about it. I don't care. I really don't, I'm in the era of seasonality, in the sense of with seasonality comes this freedom of really not caring as much in what people think as I once did before. Not caring. And that feels really good. And it feels like a safe place. And it feels like a liberating place So yeah, I really don't care what people think about me canceling the summit this year. And I'm really looking forward to next year. I'm really looking forward to, doing 2026 with a bang. And by then, well, hopefully before then, there'll be more clarity with my corporate partners. Because one thing about me, y'all, I'm not using my own money. I'm sorry. I'm about that OPP life. And that's leveraging other people's money. OPM, that's what it is, OPM. Leveraging other people's money, okay? It's what the white people do, and it's what people of color need to learn to do more of. We are using our own money to make our own investments in our businesses, which sounds really great in theory and feels really powerful, but it's not necessarily the smartest thing if you can leverage someone else's money, right? If you can use someone else's money instead of your own money, and you stash your money, you put it in a high yield savings account, you make an investment with that money so that the money is making money for you while you are using someone else's money to build your dream. So yeah, I'm not using my own money to host the summit. I'm not doing it because I don't have to. I know our product is significant enough where we're able to get investments. And just given the climate that we're in right now, people are holding back, and that's okay. I get it. So we'll pick things up in 2026, right? So now going into the fall, my conversations with organizations will be around, what does 2026 look like? What is it creatively? What can we do? Right? And I already have a partner coming in for 2026. So we're lined up for good things in 2026, but the shifts are happening now, right? To continuously set ourselves up for success. We got the Kiki, we're canceling the summit. We're going to do more intimate events. By the way, make sure you're on my email list. It should be in the show notes, my VIP email list, so you can be aware of when these events go down. And you could come out and have a good time and meet some incredible people. Because one thing that I am really proud of is that the people that do show up to my events, that buy tickets, my marketing speaks to them, they're badass. They're badass. So I know everybody coming to the Kiki Soirée are in different phases, but all have incredible value to bring to the table, which I think is really, really dope. So make sure to join the email list so you guys can stay abreast of events that are coming up. They'll be more intimate, smaller. And also send me ideas. Send me ideas that you guys have that you would like to experience. Because I'm also flirting with retreats. I'm flirting with taking a group of gals to the travels to do some wellness stuff across the globe. I'm seriously considering that. So if that is something you want to come to, let me know. Put it in the comments. Leave me a review and let me know, I'm there, sis. I want to do this retreat. Do it. Because if enough people raise their hand for me to do it, I'll do it. Because I'm a good coordinator. I'm also a good curator, okay? I curate experiences, what I love to do. Other things on the horizon. In August, I'm going to Puerto Rico because I'm going to the Bad Bunny concert. Yes, be jealous. Wow. Seeing his residency pop off, I think last weekend was the first weekend it went live. It's just it's incredible. It's like Bad Bunny's concert is like Latino's Beyonce concert. They're getting their outfits together. They're sticking to themes. It's like a cultural phenomenon. And the fact that it's happening in Puerto Rico, where my family is from, is just so beautiful. So I'm really looking forward to going on that. I have not been away, y'all, in a minute because, Daddy. Oh, let me give you an update on Daddy. So Daddy is doing well. New Year's Eve, he had emergency spinal surgery. So that's how we started the new year. And then he recovered from that. He's still recovering from that, but he's way more advanced now. I think it takes about a year for you to fully recover from spinal surgery. But we need to replace his knees. So in May, right before my birthday, we replaced his left knee. And for the first time on Father's Day, he walked without a walker, which was like huge. I cried, y'all. I was like, oh my God, my whole summer is made. Like, daddy is up. You don't understand how good that felt. And now we're gearing to replace his right knee. That's probably happening in September. And then after that, he should be good. Thank God, he should be good. And he could be outside dancing salsa and feeling really good and moving because thankfully, you know, daddy is healthy. He's healthy. The only thing that's messing with him are these knees, baby. And so now that he got his spine together, that's good. He got his left knee replaced. That's good. We're going to replace this right knee. Y ya. He going to be back outside living la vida. And I tell him he got to live until he's 100 years old. He got to live until he's 100 years old. As long as he is sane and he's happy and he's healthy and he's mobile, I tell him, you got to hold out because hubby's coming. I need you to walk me down the aisle. Hubby is coming. Okay? I can feel it at some point. God, you hear me? So it is coming. But shout out to all of you guys who DM me, who show me so much love, asking for updates about daddy. We love you guys. We love you guys so, so much. And thank you for being on this journey with us. And he's good. He's good. So that's the daddy update. But because daddy has been down, I haven't really been able to travel anywhere. Because by this time, I would have been several places already. And I've gone a couple of places, but they've been like local, like Atlanta, which is like really super close. I did go to Napa, California in April, which was lovely. Shout out to the Hive. But I haven't gone anywhere like internationally, which I would have done by now. So something is coming up on the horizon. Who knows? Maybe the new year in 2026, I'll go somewhere across the world to celebrate the new year. That's probably what's going to happen. But in the in-between time, meantime, I'll be going to Puerto Rico in August. And I'm actually going for a week and a half. And my plan is to probably go somewhere in the jungle, somewhere where I'm in the mountains, somewhere where I'm like far and secluded to just wake up with birds and the beautiful scenery and just have time to myself. I'll probably do that for like 2 to 3 days and then come back to the city part and be ready to turn up, darling, because it is due. It is due. It is due for a turn up time. But yeah, y'all, that's the latest updates. That's what's going on in my world. We are interviewing some amazing guests coming up, so make sure to stay tuned. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you're sharing our episodes with people so new people can learn about us. And just really happy that you're here and thankful for holding us down. This September makes 2 years. Makes 2 years that Banking and Cultura has been on the scene. And it has been quite a ride, darling. This podcasting thing is not easy. It is not easy to stay consistent and drop an episode for 52 weeks, okay, out of the year. It is not easy, okay, honey? But we continue. And we persevere, and even if we miss a week, we show up the next week. That's just what we do. I'm just really thankful for you all being patient with us, and every time you see a new episode pop out, you're listening, you're sharing, you're telling me your feedback. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, te amo, mi gente, and I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.
Mi gente, did you enjoy this episode? Are you loving Banking and Cultura? Make sure to subscribe and follow us. Our goal is to grow this community so that we can all embrace our Latinidad, secure the big bag, and never question our cultura ever again. Please also take a moment to leave us a review. I love reading your reviews. Let me know what you are thinking, what guests we should have on, and if there are any topics you would like me to cover. I appreciate you so much for being here. Te amo mucho, and I'll check you out in the next episode.